fear don't enter one chance, I swear, oh, now go with the go so. Herdsmen, they kill us every day, but them busy, they campaign again. After they failed all the promises they made, oh, then they praise themselves. Why the masses were supposed to give them the praises we they are they run to? Move it down. I blame it on the religious leaders. I blame it on the traditional rulers. People were supposed to fight for the people, they don't compromise. Shame on the rebellious brothers. People will cry with us to ring answers. Today them don't join those oppressors, they eat jealous. Something on the smell of. Very soon now we go perceive them. We have up where this government they cause my time bomb. It go soon explode. Revolution they come. It is very close and they feel more. When the power of the people we triumph, the power of the people in power. They no even care, they no even send. Say the people they die of hunger. Hungry dog is an angry dog. One day you go bite the owner. Idle man is the devil workshop. Many youths for Nigeria no good job. And the country the youths got no future. The country is gone, that's on period. Move it on. I blame it on the judiciary leaders. I blame it on the electoral officials. People were supposed to save the nation, but they collected bribe. Shame on the armed forces. People were supposed to protect the masses. One of them they shoot us anytime they hear our voice.
In the name of Jesus, I will see the end of this year. This year will never see my end. I will see the end of this year. This year will never see my end. This year will never see my end. This year will never see my in the name of Jesus, I will see the end of this year. This year will never see my end. I will see the end of this year. This year will never see my end. 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 I will see the end of this year. This year will never see my end. 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 I will see the end of this year. This year will never see my end. 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 This year will never.
Onye si na ga-ata anya ahụhụ ma ọ bụ na anyị fee arụsị anyị wee na-efe arụsị mgbe were iwe gị na ọmụma gị wee bịa leta anyị ụmụ anyị wee na-anwụsị ụfọdụ nọ n'ụzọ ije ha anaghị alọta ụlọ ọzọ nne na nna wee na-ata ahụhụ wee na-ata ikikere eze nwaanyị konye ka ọ gaa ubi ga arụ ọrụ Fulani chiri ehi bata ebe ala gị n'iyi okwu ebepụ ya isi anyị pụta anyị kpọpụ onye nwe anyị n'ugwu Awụsa ahụ ejide anyị wee gbuo ihe ọ bụ anyị mara aka n'ime ha si maka ha aga n'ihu elekwa ọdụ ụgbọ mmiri n'igwe ọcha bụ ememiri agha nke dị na Kalaba otu aka ahụ anyị na-ala nsọ ebe Biafra bụ ndị kọstọm sokwenye anyị n'etiti anyị anọghị n'ime mmiri kama kọstọm juru ebe niile ha wee na-ata anyị ahụhụ anyị kwuo sịpụta anyị ka kpọchie anyị kwuo sịpụta anyị ka gbagbuo anyị onye nwe anyị na Chineke na nke bi n'igwe ọ bụ ụzọ dị agha ka isi na-ekwu ndị iro anyị n'anya wee karịa ndị nke gị akwa anyị bụ ụmụ Chineke akwa ọba aha anyị ka anyị na-aza akwa ọba anyị nwe na-aza ike Chukwu akwa ọba anyị nwe na-aza amara Chineke akwa ọba anyị nwe na-aza Chisom akwa ọba anyị nwe na-aza Chizọba nna nke dị nsọ onye ime eluigwe dịka otu onye iro dị na anyị bụ ụmụ gị bịa ka iwe zọpụta anyị bịa ka iwe napụta anyị n'aka ọjọọ ihe bịa ka iwe lụọrọ anyị ọgụ bịa ka iwe dịtụ ozu ọgbọgọwa memilera Goliath Chineke nna nke igwe uwe memila Fero site otu a mee ka Fero ka ọ guzo n'ihu ụmụ ndị anyị ga-ebite owe eto akọkọ ikiri ụtọ ọzọ ị ga na-edu anyị n'ụzọ niile nke ezi omume ọ bụla adịghị na anyị na-aga ndagwurugwu onyinye ọnwụ ọ bụbụ nwa bụ ekekere n'igwe n'ụwa nwunye ọbụla kere gị nweghị malite nweghị ọgwụgwụ kama anyị onwe anyị gwa anọkwa ahụ ofu ụbọchị anyị ga-anwụ n'ezie kama ma akpọ na okwu gị na-anọgide ego mgbe ebighị ebi ọ bụ ya mere anyị ji were gị n'anya isi anyị wee na-asị nna nke dị nsọ bịa ka iwe gosi anyị Biafra na ndụ na-abụghị n'ọnwụ bịa ka iwe na-ekebe gị na amara gị wee kpuchiri anyị ka uwe bịa ka iwe zọpụta ndị nke gị bịa ka iwe mee ka Biafra wee bịa ka anyị na-ewetụta na nsọpụrụ na ịja mma site n'aha gị onye bụ Chukwu abịa ma
Welcome. Thank you for joining us on this very evening section. I appreciate every one of you that is connecting with us wherever you are connecting from. Please like and share the program on your platform. Share to family and friends. Share to your neighbors. We have come once again on our evening section to spend some few minutes with Biafrans. So please, as you join us on this very program this evening, try as much as possible to share and bring somebody along with you as you watch. Don't watch alone, because this evangelism is our duty. We have to be sending this message to everybody. I welcome everyone that have joined. Tina Martins, thank you so much for joining, Tina. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining, Tina. Messi Akere, my dear sister, thank you so much, Messi. You are always here with me on this platform, preaching the gospel with me by sharing, liking, and there. Thank you so much. I can see my brother Gerard DK. Gerard, you are always here also. I appreciate every single one of you. It is because of you that I always try as much as possible to be here, no matter how difficult it is, no matter how challenging it is. With every little opportunity that I have, I will come and spend, even if 30 minutes, I spend with my beloved brothers and sisters who are scattered all over the world, seeking for their freedom and hoping to return back home. In this festive period, I wish every one of you a Merry Christmas once again and a Happy New Year in advance. As we continue to congratulate and wish Happy Christmas to everyone that made it this far, we will continue to do what we have to do. It is not easy. I bet you this is a festive period. A time we visit family and friends, a time of occasions, a time of attending many things, but still, in that very time, people still have the time to come and think about the Biafra issue, and we still come online and speak. It is commendable. So many people have gone on holiday. They are not talking anymore. So many people have gone on holiday. They are relaxing. But as long as our freedom is concerned, there is no holiday. Personally, myself, I don't have any holiday. We cannot sing a love song in a strange land. The only time I will have a holiday where I will just sit at home and do all the things with my family is the only time that I'm in Biafra. When Biafra have regained their independence, the Christmas I will celebrate in Biafra land will be the best ever. But as it stands today, we cannot sing a love song in a strange land. That is why in the most difficult situation, the most difficult time, we still come and talk. What are we talking about? Encouraging Biafrans. encouraging Biafrans and letting Biafrans know what is happening and telling Biafrans to stay awake. You must stay at alert and awake every minute. Be at alert. You must be physically alert, spiritually alert at any point in time, more especially at this particular point in time when the whole world is focused on Nigeria, when the global community is looking for Nigeria, when the international interests are no longer hiding, they are all coming out today. Focus on Nigeria. When Nigeria is on the table to be shared again, you don't have to take a rest. You don't have to take a rest. And we are asking, as it stands today, who really control Nigeria today? That is the question that people are asking. Some of us will be asking, and some of us know the answer. Who really controls Nigeria today? Who really controls Nigeria? It's a question that you need to be asking. It's a question that you need to be worried about. It's a question that everybody that cares needs to be asking. Who really controls Nigeria today? The terror network, US airstrike, France dangerous return. Which one are you going to talk about? Which one do you think is really in charge today in Nigeria? Is it the terror network that are in charge in Nigeria? Is it the US airstrike that have taken charge? Or is it France's dangerous return? All these things are on the table. For to a very large extent, you and I know that the terrorists are in charge of the Zoological Republic of Nigeria. To a large extent, the terrorist is in charge of Nigeria as we speak today. That is why you see every government parastatal today is defending the terrorists. The military is defending the terrorists. The police is defending the terrorists. Asorok is defending the terrorists. The lawmakers are defending the terrorists. But it is not difficult to answer this question if you have been following up the case of Nigeria for a long time. Commodore Adewumi, Commodore Olawumi told us that he personally, as a Commodore, have worked for Nigeria, taken life for Nigeria, taken risk for Nigeria. And he's telling us that he knows, he has first-hand information that there are members of the terrorist group in Asorok. They are governors. They are lawmakers. They are in all strategic places. Not just because Commodore Olawumi said it. You and I know some of them, we know them. They are not hiding. And they're not shying away. They are in charge, including the drug baron they have in Asorok. This is an organized cabal that is holding everybody captive. So when you ask who is in charge today, the terrorist is in charge. And that is why the US cannot wait but intervene. For the very first time since the so-called independence of that zoo, since the so-called independence, the very first time there was an airstrike from another country into the zoo, the very first time. It is not ordinary. It is not ordinary. Those who are talking about sovereignty, it is not ordinary. That is why everybody must be awake, even if you are not from the southeast. Whichever area you are from, you must be at alert. Anybody that is an indigenous person in that contraption, you must stand still, be an alert. You must be spiritually alert, physically alert at every given point in time. There is no time to waste or sleep. Don't sleep. Pay attention to what is going on, because if you remove your eyes from the event that is unfolding, you might not live to tell the story. That is why it is important. The terror network are in charge to a large extent in that contract economy. They are in charge. There's no truth about it. The airstrike of the United States speaks volume. They are coming in as a mediator. They might have their interest, which is normal. Ebe onye na-eri na-alụ ka ọ na-eri. It is where somebody works, that is where he or she will eat. So if you are scared, maybe that is of course, even if they have interest, but the major thing is that they want to help you to have a security that you do not have. They want to make sure that there is a distinguish between the terrorists and the ordinary people. They want to make sure that the indigenous people have a say. And that is very important. That is much more important than any other thing you can think about. Those who are crying on resources. Since independence to date, what have the resources in Nigeria done for you? What have the resources in Nigeria done for you as an indigenous person in that contraction? Today, they are even taxing you. They are taxing you today to pay the debt they borrowed. They are taxing every citizen in that contraction for Nigeria to pay for debt. Money they borrowed and shared among themselves. They have given up all the resources. They used all the resources and borrowed money. The whole mineral resources buried underground is not owned by the contraction. And that is why it is difficult for the international community to weigh in and end this contraction. Allow people go their separate ways. But I bet you, when the time has come for Chukwu Obukarama to do this, there is nothing you can do. It must happen. Whether they like it or they don't, it is going to happen. And it's going to happen very, very soon. If you are not worried about the entanglement of France and Tinubu government, you must start being worried. You need to start asking questions. France, of all people, at this time that all the West African countries are rejecting France, all the African countries where France dominates, they are rejecting France with everything they have. They are fighting to escape from France. But Nigeria is embracing France, bringing France into Nigeria. Don't you ask yourself why? Ask yourself why. Of all the countries in the world, it is France that Nigeria is embracing. France that we know that any country they are, terrorism never leave that country. Insecurity never leave that country. Wherever country France dominates are in charge, insecurity will never ever leave that country. And you wake up, you saw that France is playing around with Nigeria. Tinubu have taken France as his favorite country. Tinubu have taken France as the only country he knows that he can work with. The most dangerous country you can ever talk about. In a time that all the West African countries are saying no, they don't want France present in their country, liberating themselves, but you are deepening yourself. Up to the extent of France making decision of what Nigeria will do. France is taking decision for Nigeria. France is deciding the fate of Nigeria. It is a shame, a very big shame. If you are from that contraption called Nigeria and you are still sleeping, you better wake up. You better wake up as quick as you can, because what is coming? You are going to pay for what you see that is happening today. You're going to pay. The presence of France in Nigeria today is very dangerous. The most dangerous thing that anybody should be afraid of is this sudden friendship between France and Nigeria. I pray that Biafra gets recognition as soon as possible so that they can be able to secure a territory. That is my prayer. I pray that Biafra gets recognition. It is so sad. But before then, wherever you are as a Biafran, please protect yourself. More especially Igbo people. Any place you are as an Igbo person, protect and defend yourself. Protect yourself in this festive period. Don't go around singing song, enjoying yourself to the extent that you forget who you are. Don't play around until you forget whom you are. Don't go playing to the extent that you forget whom you are. Do not. Wherever you go, whatever you are doing, remember, there is a war ahead of us. A war we must win. Wherever you are, in whichever area you find yourself, know that is a battle before us, a battle that we must win. Remember that the enemy is at the gate, seeking for an entrance. The enemy is already at the gate, seeking for an entrance. Don't you ever forget that. And if you keep that in mind, just maybe we will all survive what is coming, because the enemies are not going to back down. Not today, not tomorrow, not soon. They are not backing down. Instead of them backing down, they are doing everything humanly possible to increase their presence. Just when you think they are gone, you will hear a new story. But I bet you, by the special grace of Chukwuka, we shall all survive. While you celebrate, remember Mazin Nandeka. And also remember Mazin Samanepa. In your daily prayers, in your daily dealings, don't forget them. These are the people that have put their life on the line for you and I. We must not forget them. We must continue to make them a point of discussion. Give them a face, give them a name. Make sure you post something about them. Use their pictures in your platform. Use their pictures in your program. It is important. It goes a long way to keep their memory alive, to keep their legacy alive. It is very important. We can't forget. We cannot forget Mazin Nandeka. Cannot forget Mazin Simon. That is one of our responsibilities, to make sure we give them a voice. Because what Nigerian government wants is to silence them permanently. And that is why they throw Mazin Nandeka into Sokoto, a place where he will not get any coverage. Nobody will hear or see him. You will not be getting information from him, just like we do before. You get videos. No more. So as they keep him away from us, we will not stop reminding the world about him. We will never allow them to silence him. I personally, every blessed day I come to my program, I will always play his voice, either his prayer or his message. In most of my thumbnail, you will see his picture there. It is for a purpose, to keep his memory alive. You do the same on your own part. Any little one you can do it. Do the little one you can do. Be careful. In Biafra land today, the angel of death is hovering around everywhere. The janjaweed are still there in the forest. The enemy are still seeking for whom to devour. Don't you ever forget that. Don't you get carried away. Don't you get drunk and forget who you are. We must win this battle. and there is light at the end of the tunnel. So this evening, as we have come, we have to dive into the conventional media to see what they have in the conventional media. You know, it's a festive period, so I will not waste much of your time. Let's just go and see what the conventional media have. Then from there, we can now come back to be able to listen and hear them as we always do in all our program. It is part of our responsibilities to dissect what they say and let the Biafrans know the truth. Let's go.
All right, welcome back and thanks for staying with us. And if you are just joining us, this is People this morning on the Voice of People television. Once again, we wish you happy Boxing Day. Now, we have information before we get into our major topic of discussion. President Donald Trump said the U.S. military has carried out deadly airstrikes against ISIS, that is ISIS targets in northwest Nigeria. In a Christmas Day post on X, Trump claimed the terror group had been targeting and killing Christians and said the strikes were ordered in response. He warned that the attacks were the result of what he described as continued violence against innocent civilians, adding that the U.S. would act decisively against terrorism. Now, there has been no independent confirmation of the operation as at press time, as we are announcing this. Well, more than a month after pupils of St. Mary's Catholic schoolgirls were abducted, the Catholic Diocese of Consadero has formally brought closure to the incident, confirming that all affected pupils and staff have been rescued. The diocese said the pupils were reunited with their families following a detailed reconciliation exercise. In a statement on Thursday signed by the Bishop of Consadero, Most Reverend Bonus Dawa Yohana, the diocese disclosed that the final verification confirmed that 230 pupils and staff members were abducted during the attack in Abuara local government area of United States and have since regained their freedom. The diocese explained that the reconciliation process was necessary to address public concerns and conflicting figures that emerged in the immediate aftermath of the November 21 abduction, which occurred amid panic and confusion. Meanwhile, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has confirmed attacks against Christians in Nigeria, describing the alleged displacement and violence as unacceptable and calling for an immediate end to what he termed militant assaults on Christian communities. Speaking as Israel's Prime Minister in the holidays addressed to Christians worldwide, he warned that persecution based on religion cannot be justified anywhere. Well, we've been joined in the studio here by Mr. Somi Uranta to help us make sense of this. Mr. Uranta is a philosopher. He's an entrepreneur, author, and public affairs analyst. Good morning to you, Mr. Somi Uranta.
Good morning, my brother. Good morning.
Happy Boxing Day.
Yeah, who's that boxing?
Okay, you can say it. That boxing for you. Please, you go with it when you are there.
Oh, yeah, that's great, man.
Yeah.
I've actually noticed the gates.
Don't worry, this is your first. This is your first. Mr. Uranta, thanks for joining us. Now, we heard that, like about a month or so ago, we heard guns are blazing. And now, this morning, Nigerians woke to the fact that Trump said, look, guns have started blazing in Nigeria, not quite, under that ISIS targets. What's your reaction to that?
You know, this life is a very deep place. We are not just physical beings, having an occasional spiritual experience, but we are spiritual beings having a physical experience. So every action of man, we don't need God to come and start. The subconscious, everyone we have subconscious essence that documents everything that we do, even in our best secrets, in our flaws. So, these terrorists promised Nigeria that they are going to give us a human presence, that they are going to destroy, they are going to deal with Christians, they are going to bomb churches and all that, and the whole country. In fact, there were churches were asked not to hold crossover strategy, a lot of things, precautions, were issued out. That happened that the Americans, their bombs and guns came ablating. In the area where that girl was killed, Deborah Samuel.
Yes.
You see how it makes it. The law of cause and effect. operates in our lives. So it's a great news. Okay. It's a great news because our system has proven incapable of handling the situation. Okay. What you cannot do when somebody wants to help you, you have to take it. And in this case, you don't have a choice. Okay. After Nigeria went to other areas, other people's countries, to carry out actions, which they did, okay. And in this case, Nigerians are dying in the days in their numbers. And these people, they are so audacious when they talk about it. They do videos, they do. And Nigeria was telling us, say, we want to ask social media
bring down their
Can you imagine? So mundane discussion, so illogical. They're talking about something.
Mr. Ranta, don't you think that the Nigerian government, working in collaboration with the United States, doing that as a distraction, to take away, their attention from?
Let me tell you the truth. Let me tell you the truth. I may not confirm this truth 100%. It's right inside of me. I know that the actions of America, they didn't have Nigerian government along. If they had done that, the thing would have been lit.
Okay, but we have a major media house report that it is Nigeria and US that did the bombing.
When the Department of War issued statement, they didn't say it's a joint operation. They didn't say so.
But we've seen the US government sending their person to come have a renegotiation or maybe a discussion with the Nigerian government. To solve that also played out in Abuja. The back and forth, the meetings that were being held, even the Iranian mob who came into Nigeria to check out things. Don't you think that the attack or the launch was collaboration? Yes.
Well, I still do not believe it, that there's a collaboration to that extent. Look, there are things, the Americans are not fools now. During the time of Jonathan, look at how many years ago, they make plans and they devote that plan to the Nigerian security authority, and that plan was passed immediately.
Okay,
to the people, and it clicked.
Okay. Now, Mr. Uraka, before we go to our virtual guest, we've been joined by two of our virtual guests. I'd like to ask you this question. Did you believe when Trump said all of these things, and at the point it looks like there was a law, a lot of people believe that days, for a week after Trump said contemplate that he was going to do it. Did you, at that point, did you believe that Trump was going to come to Nigeria to do something? Were you convinced, or do you think that he was just giving out sound bites?
Let me tell you, I have been reading Donald Trump 15 years before he became president.
Okay.
He's a man that does what he said he would do. He means what he said and said what he meant. He's not the man that laughs.
Okay, so you didn't wish it away.
I knew he was going to act.
Especially when you had the Department of War headset to prepare for war.
Even when he asked the legislator to give bites, legal bites to that statement, I knew. In fact, the moment he mentioned it, I knew it was going to happen. Trump is a man that says something and starts doing something else. No.
Okay, now we'll come back to you shortly. We are going to talk about what some people have termed the economic aspect of this strike and this intervention or interference or involvement or collaboration between Nigeria and the United States. Good morning to you, Barrister Eze. We've been joined by Barrister Eze. He is a barrister at he's an attorney, legal, and political affairs analyst.
Good morning, my brother.
Good to have you. Happy Boxing Day. Good to have you. How have you been?
No, we're cool. We're cool. In the east, over in Boston, so beautiful to be home, and it's wonderful.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful. So now you are speaking from Owerri. Before we get into this conversation, I'd like for you to, give us a feel, of what is going on in Owerri. Are houses locked? Are the streets empty? Are people scared? When people walk the streets of Owerri, what do they feel? The streets of Imo State, is it some kind of safety or a sign of surrender? What sense does it look like to you?
Well, the place is safe. It's bustling. It's the Christmas festivities are all over. Masquerades are dancing everywhere in the communities that have masquerades. Church ceremonies are taking place. So the East Owerri in particular is very peaceful, and I invite everybody to come over. Have a feel of the place. For a very long time, what has been happening in the Southeast has been orchestrated, externally orchestrated. And most of us here feel that even the security agencies, the government security agencies, and their mercenaries, particularly as Aidokubo and his people have been part of the nonsense. But the people have come back and they are in full control of their place now. So there's even no space for any funny things to happen. They know we are fully on ground.
All right. Beautiful. But I'd like for you to, to react to the information we have this morning that look, United States has hit some targets, some ISIS targets in part of the Northwest. Did it come to you as a surprise?
Certainly not. Certainly not. You see, the US is a process-driven country. They announce policy and allow the process to roll out, and then mark out their targets and hit them at will. That is what has happened now. A few weeks back, some people were saying that it was all bluster, that after the visa ban on Nigerians, the US government has shown that it really had no interest in any part of Nigeria. But the reality is this: the entire world has a duty to protect, a responsibility to protect where people have been almost killed on a daily basis by terrorists and by their own security agencies. So I was not surprised in any way whatsoever, and I actually expect more. I expect more in the sense that they claim by the government that they were part of it, they were other stuff. We know this is not being politically correct. I mean, if they had told the Nigerian authorities what they were going to do, it would leave that place.
Okay.
And then the question now it should be addressed to the Sultan of Sokoto, who claims to be the Lord and Master of the entire Sokoto Caliphate. Was the Sultan aware of the presence of this ISIS in his territory? What has Sultan Said done to restrain these killers from operating from Sokoto? If he is part of it, if in any way he is part of the complicit in the presence of these criminal elements, then perhaps there will be more direct efforts to curtail the existence of the Sultan.
Okay.
On several occasions, this same Sultan has come out blazing and making so much noise. Now the terrorists are in his domain and he's not done much. That is what I think.
Okay, now, Barrister Adenike, you understand that I would like for us to talk about the implication of this. Do you think that this strike is going to bring peace and lasting peace, if I may say? I ask that in the light of the fact that a certain cleric, an affiliate, somebody who is known, to be an intermediary between Nigerians, or so to say, between terrorists and government at some point, talking about Sheikh Ahmad Gumi. He was on this station the other time and he said, look, if Donald Trump as much as touches one of these bandits or terrorists, that the terrorists and the bandits who are Muslims were going to unleash mayhem on Christians. Do you see that coming? And if that happens, do you think that America's involvement is going to bring lasting peace in Nigeria? Or is it going to make Nigeria unravel like places like Afghanistan, places like Yemen, where you have sectarian war, places like Iraq and all of that? Do you think it's going to bring lasting peace?
Now, I have very many Muslim friends, and nobody wants terrorists in his domain. So characters like Sheikh Gumi were talking absolute nonsense. And the more he talks, the more he makes himself complicit in this criminality. So let him come out and unleash that mayhem, and he will see the stand that he deserves. In fact, the inability of the Nigerian government to curtail such elements is what makes some of us believe that the Nigerian government are collaborating with these terrorists. If a country like Saudi Arabia, the bastion of Islam, can deny Gumi entry visa, why must Nigeria tolerate such characters, such criminal elements? And when you say it's a go between the government and the terrorists, that's not true. The man is in bed with terrorists. He collects money on their behalf. He is, by what he does, a terrorist. The fact that his government continues to tolerate some elements makes us believe that the government is complicit. I do not believe that any Muslim anywhere will feel associated with this element.
Apart from Sheikh Ahmad Gumi, Barrister, we have also a professor, a certain Professor Yusuf, who told the newly appointed Minister of Defense that he shouldn't go all out, in flushing out these elements, rather they should also employ the non-kinetic measure. And, in handling this, when you say, I don't think Muslims are in support of this, we've seen some of that come out to say, don't go all out, don't use military might. I mean, the words of the Yusufi said, now, first of all, remember you're now a political elected official, appointed official, no longer a military personnel. So don't go all out in your fist on these bandits or elements we have in Nigeria.
No, I only mentioned Sheikh Kubi as an example. Him and all others of his life, all cohorts, all those who have the same views with him, that you must engage and discuss and negotiate with terrorists, should be dealt with. And the average Muslim on the street is peace loving. Islam, like they say, is a religion of peace. So those who terrorize in the name of Islam are not tolerated anywhere, even in the Islamic world, in the Arabian Peninsula, in Saudi, in UAE, in Kuwait. Those guys are slaughtered. So let those who say they are in support of these terrorists in Nigeria, let them come out and let us see them.
Now, do you think the Nigerian government will do anything to make sure we end the issue of terrorism, especially when, according to Goodluck Jonathan, when he was there, he said that in his cabinet he has some members of Boko Haram, group there, and also we've also learned from the former governor of Kaduna State that the government of the Kaduna State presently is more like negotiating with bandits to the tune of 1.something billion being spent on that. And we saw what was playing out with I think the state minister for defense, where people have been pointing in as someone who is in good book of this terrorist, to the likes of John Jubel, coming to tell Nigerians that, Masawane should not be arrested, but the former governor of Castina and Zamfara should go in. So, do you think we're going to end the issue of attacks or banditry or terrorism when it's work now in Nigeria anytime soon, even with the involvement of the United States of America?
Well, the thing is, attack on terrorists should continue until they are totally eliminated. When people like even the Nasir El-Rufai begin to talk, we wonder what he's not trying to save his neck. We know what he told Nigerians he did as a governor. Nasir El-Rufai publicly claimed that he went as far as Mali, Burkina Faso, to pay off terrorists.
Exactly.
To people in Southern Zaire. So we cannot now come and start changing.
We never forget.
And even people like the current vice president, Kashim Shettima, it was in the south that Kabir Sokoto was arrested.
Exactly.
So let us not mince words. If it means anybody,
I like people that will come and speak out.
No matter how highly placed, must be brought to justice because they are criminals. And I'm not saying that the vice president is implicated. He is implicated.
Yes.
As governor of Borno State, what did he do? What was his role?
Exactly.
When Boko Haram was bombing and killing people. Now, what should be an eye-opener for Nigerians is this. When you see turbaning ceremonies, when you see wedding fatihas, where crowds of people gather of the higher humanity, of those who are in bed with terrorists, you don't see them being bombed by these terrorists. Why? Because they know themselves. They only go for school children. If you are holding a wedding fatiha or you are holding a turbaning ceremony in the Emir's palace, in the Sultan's palace, and nothing happens, you begin to suspect that maybe nothing is happening because they know these terrorists.
Yes.
And we have now realized that indeed, the terrorists are on the payrolls of this government.
All right.
So
Thank you.
Not for prevarications. Let the government come out frontally and destroy terrorists. And if Bola Ahmed does not act accordingly, if he does not act well against terrorists, he will be treated as one in collusion with terrorists.
Thank you so much, Chair, for a submission. Let's get Mr. Comrade Frank Ehioshun join the conversation. Comrade Frank Ehioshun, good morning and happy Boxing Day. Good time you join today's conversation. All right, without wasting much time, if you can hear me, I want you to, what's your opinion on the stand, or your stand on the revelation made by the Bishop of Katangara Diocese in Niger State, that all of the kidnapped victims of St. Mary's Catholic School have been reunited with their family members, and we were also told that the governor himself, Babo, was there to make sure that the process was also seamless. What do you make of this, and how is it? Some Nigerians are asking, how possible is it for the terrorists or the bandits to move such large number of children and also return them back to their parents without harm or injury, or even any of them losing their lives? And what do you have to say about this, regarding the fight against terrorism and allegation of how some people are more like aiding and abetting with these terrorists because of their security votes?
Yeah, I can hear you, but hello?
I can hear you. If you can hear me, please, I'll need you to answer the question.
Yes, I can hear you, but on the issue you raised, in my opinion, Nigeria, unfortunately, is not a serious state. In fighting terrorism, it actually falls within the purview of comedy of sorts. I think the only fortune we have that we can count on right now is that the US president has put his voice to it and further taking a step by ensuring that there's action to follow. Unfortunately, as wonderful as this may appear, the best we can get from these lines of intervention are simply temporary reliefs. Because no nation builds another.
Exactly.
Nationhood is the responsibility of the collective who have chosen to come together and pursue the cause of their interests as a whole, as a people. So no other country comes to build another one. The best America can do is what she's doing today, or what she did yesterday, and maybe they may do a few more. If Nigeria as a country does not employ the requisite discipline of nationhood to ensure that things work the way they ought, it will just be a case of moving from fire to fire within a short while. That is the truth. Look at the trajectory from 2019 days, especially when the Boko Haram also commenced a fight. Go and check out the first budget. Every year there is monumental increase in the budget for defense. There now seems to be quite a proximate relationship between increase in defense budget and increase in security. Because increase in insecurity rather, not increase in security. Because insecurity is not a business in Nigeria. Up there is over 5 trillion. Go and check what the budget was. The last budget that Jonathan passed in his time. The budget for defense alone is about more than the budget of the whole country as at that time, barely a decade ago. How many Tucano jets in Nigeria buy? How many helicopters have been bought? The aircraft that the US used for those strikes, I can bet on the fact that they don't fall within or even close to the range of the Tucano jet that Nigeria spent billions of taxpayer money to buy that have not made no impact. What is the point I'm making? The Bishop's viewpoint is wonderful. We must appreciate the fact that people are happy that they got their kids back, even if they've been held down in some states that could be described as hell for about a month. The fact that they are brought back is worth celebrating. Celebrating not that the government achieved anything. Celebrating not that the government rescued them because they were not rescued. Something went on behind the scene. Obviously, the terrorists were settled. So it's not a case of government being in charge. What happened in Kosangola is a case of government being conquered, government submitting to the whims and caprices of another government.
All right, Frank.
Because for anybody in any state, let me have this. For anybody in any state to exercise the force of violence and government does not, as in, really put that organization or anywhere it belongs, it only indicates the fact that there's another government. So those guys that did that may say that government of their own. In Nigeria today, I can tell you free of charge that we are talking in this program. These same guys can go and operate in 100 different schools, 100 different communities, and they will succeed.
Exactly the question I wanted to ask you, Mr. Frank Dehius. Now, we've been battling this insecurity for close to 2 decades now, as far as I know, more than 15 years. And it's been very difficult for us. You just mentioned how our security budgets keep increasing every other year. But America has stepped in graciously, as some Nigerians will describe it. Now, my question is, how long or how much longer do you think, or how long do you think it will take the United States of America, to clear these people? As you understand, they have also boasted that if you kill 10 of us, you have 100 more people that are ready to get into the fight. Do you think that it will get to a point where America will have to bring in troops in the northwest or in the northern part of this country, or any part of this country where insurgency, banditry seems to have taken root? Do you think it will get to that point? And what will be the implication of all of this for Nigeria as a country, in terms of our sovereignty, in terms of America having to probably get a base in Nigeria and all of that? How much longer do you think it will take us to take out insecurity in Nigeria?
First of all, when you say we have been battling it for so long a time, I want to change that narrative in a sense. Those of us who, to a large extent, are victims are the ones that will say are battling it, not the governments that we so elected who want to have that responsibility. When viewed from the lens of the role of government, it's more of the business of insecurity. That is what I've tried in Nigeria. That is the truth. And that was established. Now, on the US coming around and making any form of impact, like I emphasized earlier, I said the best that we can get from it is just temporary release, maybe for a few days, for a few weeks. Even if America brings a soldier to the ground to come and fight, we Americans know in Afghanistan for 20 years. Immediately they left, what happened? Even before they left, I emphasize something from the outset. In the history of the evolution of nation states, or nations as the case may apply, no nation builds another. Nationhood is the responsibility of those who have come together as a collective to define the course that they want to take. And Nigeria, as it is today, is actually unfortunately driven by factors that ensure that we are retarded or swimming in the pool of retardation rather than making progress. See, the source of this conflict, the feeding mechanism, is like a limitless bowl. Our governance and political culture ensures that there will be insecurity in Nigeria. So even if you go and bring angels from heaven to come and be the ones fighting, maybe to join the Americans, it will not change the narrative.
Why didn't you complete that your statement that nations are built among people that agreed to be in a nation? You didn't complete that statement. Nations are built among people that agree to be on the same nation. You say it and say it boldly because you are in the zoo. You are scared. Even after saying it, you begin to withdraw to divert. That is why we are calling that nations are built among people that have the same value system. The people that are forced to be in that Nigeria did not agree to be there. The Southwest, the Southeast, the North, the Middle Belt, they didn't sign up, they didn't put their signature down to be in one big, large, empty space. They did not sign up for that. And that is why whatever they say today will never work. Just like you gave the example of Afghanistan. The United States was there for more than 20 years, and when they left, Afghanistan to return to what it is. The same thing will happen in Nigeria, even if they put brute on the ground and force these people to go in. After much more, they are going to come back. The best solution is disintegration. We say it and say it unapologetically. Divide the country, create country along value system. Let everybody go their separate ways.
If you take a cursory look at our history in insecurity, from independence till date, the first man that gave primacy to the concept of such insecurity that pertains to terrorism was Mohammed Mawa. The guy was not even in Nigeria. He's actually from Cameroon. He's from a village called Mawa in Cameroon. He was deported by emergency then in 1962. He was exiled from Nigeria. He came back a few years later after Nigeria became a republic, and he continued his own flaws. But because Nigeria at that time still had some semblance of discipline that was required for proper nation rule, they were able to checkmate him and front him on and on and on until 1980 when he was caught down finally. When the guy was killed, over 4,200 Nigerians were killed in one day. He told us when Nigerian soldiers and businessmen came after him. Shagari was the president there. But our military was still very functional. Not the politicized system we have today, where the battle against insecurity is more of a business more than carrying out the real function. Okay. So I just say. All right. If you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you. Land on your tongue.
Yeah, I just say that as a collective, Nigeria as a country today is not serious. It's not quite concerned about fighting insecurity as much as it ought to. Because what we call government is actually a ceremonial institution of people who are there fighting for themselves. All right. We must fall within the problem that what we can define as public interest for real.
All right, and thank you very much, Mr. Frank. Now, let's go back to Barrister Eze Eluche. Mr. Eluche, Frank has said something that strikes me as well. Do we consider that as, do you think that transposition is that America is not going to solve the problem, that even if they come, it's going to persist? Do you share his sentiments? Do you agree with him?
Oh, certainly. I mean, and I can assure you that there will be no single American boots on the ground in Nigeria. There will be no single one, no single boot on the ground. And what they find, they didn't even use jets. It was missiles that were fired from thousands of miles away, but they were targeted and programmed. So America will not send troops on the ground. What Nigerians need to do is to have a government, a people's-oriented government, or as our rulers, and not characters who just stumble and all like them say it's in the finances, it's in enriching themselves. That is what we have in this country for now. So I do not think there will be any difference. America will not come in on the ground. So we have to address this issue by ourselves. And the way to address it by ourselves is that when we feel pain enough with these terrorists, with the attacks going on, we make sure that we have in place a government that is people-oriented, that is put there by the people, and not guys who rig themselves in and get in there and all they want is money, money, money. That is the problem we have in Nigeria for now. Because if you're interested in wiping away terrorism, if you're interested in having security, if you're interested in ensuring that your kids don't get kidnapped, when next you have elections, ensure that your votes count, and that any attempt at rigging it is an attempt to perpetuate the evil that is going on in the country for now.
When you say that the US will not send in food soldiers to come into the country, are you running out the fact that no, Nigeria is before now of the opinion that we're not going to see the US presence at all, even when Trump himself made the statement. So are you saying he might go back on his words? And also, what do you think the war against security in Nigeria is moving towards when we have the likes of Benjamin Netanyahu also making a statement in line with the opinions in Nigeria that no country or no one is going to, turn a blind eye or deaf ear to the cries of Nigerians over the incessant killing of terrorists? Are we seeing, other international bloc or maybe other countries now coming into Nigeria to help, exterminate the terrorists that are killing Nigerians?
Now, when they come in, like the US has already come in this instance now, did they have troops on the ground? No. But have they wiped out some terrorist elements? Yes. So what they need on ground is their firepower, not really the troops. Because if nobody wants to risk their soldiers or their armies for you people, for anybody. The American people only go to fight for American wars. That is the new policy of the Trump administration. They will only go to fight where American interests are involved.
Otherwise, do you think that this might get into a war of attrition where the terrorists will just lag, visit, do sporadic strikes here and there to wear out America and the Nigerian government, and the two will last longer than expected? You think to get to that point, because it's also a war strategy for guerrilla warfare, and they fight a war of attrition and let you wear out yourself.
I don't think so, because these terrorists, indeed, they are foreign elements. Where would they stay? Where would they hide? Because already we see that up north, the northerners, in the Hausas, in Kebbi, Zamfara, are already fighting their wars by themselves. In the middle belt, the people are already picking up arms. In the southeast and southwest, there is no space for these terrorists. They can easily be fished out. So there's only war of attrition where the people, the population, the indigenous population are part of the terrorists. But in Nigeria, they are not. Most of these terrorists are foreign elements, either from Arabia, from the Tuaregs or the Fullers from across the West Africa, but they are not indigenous.
But they have a huge followership and some kind of sympathizers, in the north.
Well,
because when you try to give them, you hear certain sort of people, opinion leaders in the north come and say, look, a strike against them is a strike against us, our people. Sympathies for them.
Yes. Now I assure you, their sympathizers, those enablers, those financiers will be fished out and eliminated. But the population is against terrorists. So people like those characters who keep on saying a strike against the Boko Haram, a strike against the North, will be dealt with because they're terrorists.
Right.
I mean, despite whatever office they hold, and we have had some of them even as ministers who go to negotiate. People like Pantani, former Minister of Communication, these are ardent terror sympathizers. Those guys need to be fished out and dealt with. But
I like this guy, his book. Speaking on.
Do they admit or do they condone terrorism? The answer is no. Like I told you, in the southeast, southwest, there is zero tolerance. Middle belt, zero tolerance. In the north, the Hausas are already fighting against it. So where would they hide? Right. So there is no war of partition going to go on. This strike will eliminate terrorists, and that is enough.
All right, thank you very much, Barrister. Now, we've been joined by Honorable Felix Pascal Pulevo. He's a public affairs analyst and political commentator, and he joins us from Taraba State, which is the northeast, but we understand that strike took place in the northwest. So let's get a feel of what is going on in the North from Honorable Felix Pascal Pulevo. Good morning to you, Mr. Pulevo, and thanks for joining us on the video this morning.
Thank you, Mr. Chukuma. It's my pleasure.
Okay, good to see you again. Happy Boxing Day.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. Thank you very much.
Okay, now we hear that there's been a strike, on ISIS target by the United States of America somewhere in the Northwest. And do you have that information? And what's going on in the North as we speak? Can you help us, get the pulse of the people in the North, especially where you are joining us from? Has the information filtered, and what is the response of the people?
Okay, thank you very much. Yesterday evening, almost yesterday night, those of us who are social media compliant saw it online, and then we began to feel the waves around in the community. So for us here in the North, when I woke up this morning, I spoke with 7 of my friends. 7 of my friends across Jigawa, Kebbi, Zamfara this morning to know what's the situation, and one was able to oblige me a video call self. Okay. And then he showed me how people were reacting to the situation.
Okay.
In my own little northeast here where we are, there is a little divide. Even if you check out the activities on social media, it was a good Christmas gift to the Christians. They have been jubilating and celebrating it. Some genuine and non-fanatical Muslims also commended it, who are not sympathizers of the terrorists. I've read a lot of commentaries from them. They have also commented that, and especially they commented the fact of the surprise nature of the attack. And just like the way some people have opined in the studio, if it is something that was earlier hinted, probably it would have failed. So that people are happy, people feel more confident, people are excited that something like this is happening, and that people are feeling that we can take that breath of fresh air, that we can really live in this space in our country. That in fact is sad that there are a lot of religious fundamentalists who feel that probably is an attack on a particular religion, especially some of our Muslim friends and brothers. But like the video I watched, there are some...
I was coming to that. I wanted you to tell us what happened. How was it? How did the people feel from the video you have seen online?
Yes, when he was there on the street, there were some of them who were jubilating. In fact, there is one old man that was saying in Hausa that he can now freely go to his farm, that they have killed these hooligans that are affecting them and making them not to farm, that hunger wants to kill him at home. That they are happy that whoever is going to give them this peace, they will welcome it, even if it is America or any country of the world. So they are happy. These guys have held them hostage for years because the situation has been such that they live with these people in the community, sir. They are there, they move around with their guns and all, and then you are compelled not to give any hint or information to anybody. So much so that they know themselves very well, they control them, they sit with them in the market, they drink around with them, and all whatnot. And so if peradventure they get to hear that you have given out a hint to anybody, then they pounce on you, they just kill you and all that. In fact, they even ask people for monies before they are allowed to go to farm in some places. That is how sad the situation.
Are these Nigerians? Are you aware if they are Nigerians or foreigners now? Since they have moved there, more like they interact with them, relate to them. Are they Nigerians? Are they
This kind of question, they are Nigerians.
No, basically, most of these guys cover their faces even while they move around in the community. And Hausa is a language that is spoken beyond Nigeria, or beyond northern Nigeria. So Hausa is spoken in Niger, in Mali, and some of these African countries that are our neighbors. They speak Hausa there because you speak the Hausa and Fulani people in some of those areas. They speak Hausa, but on a realistic note, you will know from their accent that some of them are not Nigerians, but then definitely there are a lot who are Nigerians. The sad situation is that I was privileged to be in Maiduguri as a 2009, 2010 when Boko Haram started. When this thing started, sir, it was a case of people shielding it. They knew some of those boys who were doing it, but they were now seeing it as if it was something like it was a fight. Maybe we are farmers that farm yam, and then these are boys that are trying to see that our yam is not stolen by others. So they didn't see that it was going to escalate to get to this point. They were looking at it as if they were young men who were coming up trying to protect their faith, trying to ensure the enthronement of Sharia law or Islamic law in the parts of the country and all whatnot. But then over time, it took a different dimension because they were now killing randomly, they were killing indiscriminately. I'm not really going by some of those things because their ultimate mindset is that when they get you find small children, they will tell, especially these Almajiri boys, they will not tell them you find somebody has been in this Almajiri system for up to 20 years of his life. He has grown in it, he didn't have the opportunity of Western education, only this one. So now they psych him. I'm telling you that, look at that small boy that was born in that house. They used to go into the houses to beg for food. Then look at that small boy that was just born yesterday while you were already grown up. Today, he has come back from US or he has finished university within the country. He is driving a car and all whatnot. And you that is his senior, you that is his elder person, you are eating from scraps that fall from their table. That is this a fair system? That your age and whatsoever is not considered and all whatnot. And because they are limited in this Western education, they easily, because they are vulnerable, they easily give in to this kind of things and then now say that this Western education is bad because it is not fair, it is not just, it is just for some few persons. And people are indoctrinated and they keep fighting and killing people indiscriminately.
As a northerner, can you say it's justifiable for such to go out? We know that in the north, some people even enjoy free education. Some people are being paid to go to school, but yet we see the likes of the Boko Haram, coming up to say that Western education is around, that people shouldn't indulge in it. So is it justifiable now for such to vacate the table? Because the likes of Sheikh Ahmad Gumi was also suggesting that the Nigerian government should find them a suitable education that will also align with their level of understanding, or like going for Islamization. But they are already, being forced or asked to get themselves enrolled in education. In Ghana State, for example, how Francois so there have so many schools, the Francois movement, they have all education, even food will be made available. The likes of William Jonathan also provided schools for them. The former governor of Imo State, in the person of Richard Okorocha, built many elementary schools for them to go and get Western education. But it's more like they turn their back towards that. Is it justifiable now for us to say the discrepancy we have in social certification is what enabled them to pick up arms and start killing people?
It's not justifiable because just the way you said, it's not like they were denied the opportunity. I know a lot of states who have been doing wonderfully well. Even back then, when I got admission, I was in the university. So states like Yobe State, for example, once you pick up admission, if you are admitted to go and study in the university, irrespective of your department or the course you are going to study, as at then, I don't know if it is still running, you will go to their scholarship board and you pick up a state government appointment. So I had some of my colleagues, especially those who are in engineering, the medical college and all, that were collecting. Automatically you become a civil servant, that will serve in the state government. And then they were the ones rather sending money home. And all these things were put in place by the government to encourage people to go to school. So the government in its own way has put up these measures. In a lot of our northern states today, education is free. In Taraba State, education is free. In Adamawa State, it's free education. From primary down to secondary school. The tuition in the universities, especially in the state-owned universities, have been subsidized. Like in Taraba, it's like it's by 50%. So you don't have a reason for some of these kind of things. But unfortunately, and we are hoping that with some of these measures now, the president is really realizing some of the challenges. And we, unfortunately and respectfully, people like Sheikh Gumi, should be behind bars or in DSS custody for questioning as we discuss this kind of things.
Because thank you so much.
Truly, we shouldn't be having persons revered of his status coming out to the public, making some of these kind of statements he is making. Those kind of things are insensitive, and it's clearly collaborated to the whole situation. Because it's like he knows a lot. So we need to call him and ask him a lot of questions.
Thank you so much, Honorable Felix Pascal Polego. Thank you for your submission. Let's bring it to the studio before we move on to the next couple of conversation. Talking about Sheikh Ahmed Gumi, Mr. Somi Oranta, Sheikh Gumi called on the president to hold a U.S. military, cooperation and the bombardments happening in Nigeria. He just called the president to say, cease or halt all cooperation with the U.S. and carrying out the bombardment in some states in Nigeria. What do you have to say to that, please?
Well, the U.S. do not need Nigeria's cooperation to act. If a nation, we are living in a global village. If any nation state decides to become a terrorist state in the hopes of the civilized world, America is the policeman of the universe. For them to go in and take care of the situation, ensure that there's no festering ground for terrorism. Because if you allow it to hibernate in Nigeria, to develop and grow wings and all that, when it is perfectly mature, they will export it to the whole world. So that's why they will not allow it. They do not need Nigeria's cooperation. It is good that Nigeria is cooperating with them, but they do not need Nigeria's cooperation. And now that Israel is also interested in the matter, anywhere terrorism festers in the world, they have the duty to stop it. But these people are not human beings. They are not. Because they look out for that's the most deadliest way and most creative, in the negative way of exterminating their fellow human beings. And I listen to what people are saying here, some other analysts are saying. You cannot tell a man, you cannot promote education when you say that education, Western education is haram. Everything they use, all the gadgets they use are Western. The Western technology they are using. And they are following that people are telling them not to go to. How will you promote education more than the way they are doing it in the North? Even if you when you want to go to public schools, unity schools in Nigeria, those from the North, you need 100 and something points to go to get admission. But some states in the North, you need only 5, 10, 20, 40 points. That is the areas where targeted. If you want to get admission, the moment you get, you told us here that you are giving money, you are paid to go to school.
All right, Mr. Renta, this United States involvement, now how do you think it's going to impact the 2027 election?
Well, it depends on how the government, their level of responsiveness and cooperation. But I think it is, I see an ominous sign.
You have had the discussion. Most of these things we are bringing up is for you to know what is going on and the kind of deliberation they are having in their conventional media. Most of the things they say, we don't agree with them, and some that we agree. You can see that guy just explained how the privilege the Northerners enjoy. They enjoy a lot of privilege. In education, the government have pumped a lot of money. Individuals have pumped money. Many people have tried to redeem, but they don't want. Even because of them, the standard of education has been lowered just to favor them. How low can we go to be able to accommodate them? How low can we go to be able to accommodate them? Enough is enough. Enough is enough. And Biafrans are gone. There is no going back. So wherever you are watching this program from, I urge you to like and share to that platform. Remember, we are in a Christmas mood. I wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year in advance. Whatever you do, do not forget that we have a cause to pursue, the cause of freedom. Pray for Mazen Nandekano. Pray for Mazen Samoneba. Continue to remember them, and Chukwu Kabiama will give us future life. Thank you so much for watching, wherever you're watching from. I will see you again tomorrow evening by the specialist of school. Good night, everybody. Stay blessed.
Nigeria don't enter one chance, I swear, now go with the go so. Yes, men, they kill us every day, for them busy, they campaign again. After they failed all the promises they made, oh, then they praise themselves. Why the masses were supposed to give them the praises we they are they run to? Move it down. I blame it on the religious leaders. I blame it on the traditional rulers. People were supposed to fight for the people, they don't compromise. Shame on the rebellious brothers. People will cry with us during answers. Today them don't join those oppressors, they eat love. Something done the smell of. Very soon now we go perceive them. We have up where this government they cause my time bomb. It go soon explode. Revolution they come more. It is very close and they feel more. When the power of the people we triumph, the power of the people in power. They no even care, they no even send. Say the people they die of hunger. Hungry dog is an angry dog. One day you go bite the owner. Idle man is the devil workshop. Many youths for Nigeria no good job. And the country the youths got no future. The country is gone, that's on period. Move it on. I blame it on the judiciary leaders. I blame it on the electoral officials. People were supposed to save the nation, but they collect it bribe. Shame on the armed forces. People were supposed to protect the masses. One of them they shoot us anytime they hear our voice.